As you do this, it helps if you can recreate in your mind the emotion that you experienced when you first experienced these things. Now we go on to phase 3, forgiveness. Bring to mind someone. It could be someone recent, someone from the past, whom you feel you still have a charge that you need to forgive. See them in front of you. And repeat mentally after me. I forgive you. And I ask you to forgive me. We now go on to phase 4. I want you to see some aspect of your life 3 years in the future. Could be you experiencing your ideal body and health, or your ideal love, or your ideal career, or adventure, or growth, or contribution. Pick any one of these. And feel the joy you would feel as if it were already happening. Play around with this for a few seconds. If everything could go well for you, if you had incredible luck and support, what would that aspect of your life look like 3 years from now? Feel the feeling you would have as if this were true. Now bring your attention back to today as we go into phase 5, visualizing your perfect day. I want you to think about what you have to do today and visualize each hour of the day unfolding in the most perfect possible way. You could visualize it, or you could simply make a statement such as, I'm going to have an amazing lunch with so-and-so. As you do this, pretend that you have power over how your life and your day is going to unfold. And you could direct things to appear, unfold, and flow to you simply by your thought. Just pretending it's so tends to give you a sense of control and power that often leads to you having more positive experiences throughout the day. And now, we move on to the final phase, phase 6. You've visualized yourself 3 years in the future. You've decided on how your perfect day is going to unfold. I want you to now imagine as if there's a higher power above you. It doesn't matter what your religious or spiritual beliefs are. The important thing is as if you feel that there's an energy or higher power supporting you in all your visions and intentions. Imagine a beam of light flowing down from above to the top of your head. Feel this as a warm, positive, loving, supportive energy, and feel it gently flow down from the top of your scalp, down to your forehead, your eyes, your face, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, all the way down to your fingers, your chest, your abdomen, your hips, your upper legs, your knees, your calves, and your feet, all the way down to your toes. Imagine yourself thanking this higher power or this supportive energy, and see yourself ready, empowered to face your day. At the count of 5, I'm going to count you awake. 1, 2, 3, coming out slowly now. 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. How did that feel? So you see how fast it went, right? It didn't take a really long time. And many of my entrepreneurial friends love it because you don't have to clear your mind. Now, some argue that this isn't really meditation. It doesn't really matter. It's simply the act of going within and consciously fine-tuning different aspects of your human being, hacking yourself, in other words, so that you have an optimal experience in this particular life. Now, you can download this on omvana.com. It's free. Just sign up and you can download it. These are some of the various apps and stuff that my company has out there. You can download Omvana on your iPhone or your Android, and this particular meditation is free. So just click on free tracks and you'll get it for free. The beautiful thing about it is there are things that you will see consciously happen when you do this. There are also things that happen unconsciously. One of the most interesting unconscious bits that I noticed when I started doing this is what I call the two-mind effect. It almost seems as if my mind would split in two. And when I'm about to react in a bad way to something, let's say someone cutting me off in traffic, this other mind would appear, a wiser, more astute, calmer mind, and it would kind of calm me down. It would say, relax, Vishen, you're just going through fundamental attribution error. So there are numerous unconscious things which I noticed were happening to me as I started adopting this practice. But overall, I would credit it as the number one most effective thing I do every day in my life. And I hope, this is my gift to you, I hope that you get to take this back, experiment with it, feel free to hack it in any way you want. Write to me if you find a really good variation of it that's working for you, because I'm always looking to refine it, get it better, and get it out to as many people. Thank you.
Candidíase pode dar aquela coceirinha chata e corrimento branco. Captou?
If you can't feel gratitude, if you can't feel love, I just want to know what you've been practicing feeling every day. Because that feeling that you're practicing is what you're always feeling. Now let's practice feeling something else. In the beginning, it's not going to be easy.
One of the ways that we find our audience struggles is deducing the energy of the people around you and the energy that you attract into your life and the people that you keep. Often, like you said, there are people coming to your seminars that are dragging their partners.
Yeah.
And they have to drag their partners there because their partners are not understanding it initially. Where is that? Is there a method for people to start deducing the energy of people they meet and connect with, to be aware if they're on the same frequency or on the same path?
Well, I don't know if there's a machine that does that. But once again, I think that if we share the same experiences, because we like the same things, we share the same emotions. And if we share the same experiences, we share the same emotions, I can relate to you, so we can exchange ideas and information.
Yep.
And if we share the same energy, energy is information. So many people, as an example, they use each other to reaffirm their dependency on suffering. So I suffer more than you, then you say you suffer more than me. We have this thing, we just complain with each other. Well, that's the same resonance, the same frequency, and there's a match, right? But it goes to the same means if you're someone has a accountability partner that you exchange ideas like this with, and it's a different frequency, a different energy. So when energy comes together and it's constructive, something comes out of it. You feel it, right? You feel an elevation. If there's dissonance, then your sensing meter is how you feel about that person, many times in your gut or in your heart or wherever. And there's destructive interference, and there's no energy involved. So I think that's just a practice. But really, the ultimate mastery is to be able to be in such resonance, such coherence, that when you walk in the room, that you raise everybody's energy, and you don't let your energy drop because of any circumstance or any condition. And that would be greater than your environment, right? And that's the model that we use. So imagine 1,500 people in an event where everybody's getting super coherent, and the interference that's going on in the room is creating these high amplitudes. Now, we've measured that in the room, and the energy in the room is off the chart many times. There's energy for healing in there. There's energy for all kinds of things that can happen. So we brought it to life with our awareness. And so the more elevated the emotion, love, gratitude, freedom, bliss, ecstasy, the higher the frequency. So, but it turns out you can have a collective group of people with a lot of energy and be incoherent, and it creates entropy.
Yeah.
You could have a smaller group of people that are highly coherent and put out a very big signal. So when we see a collective really get coherent, wow, the energy in the room opens up doors of possibilities that I would never expect. I mean, I don't know how to explain some of the phenomenological things that happen. But that's everybody's divine. Like everybody's in that state. They're in that elevated state. So I think our truth meter is really whether we feel lifted or we feel like we've been robbed.
Yeah. And often our feeling of feeling lifted is based on everything we've just talked about. It's based on a void, based on an unhealed trauma, based on a gap or a part of ourselves that we haven't yet broken a belief. And so often feeling lifted is not feeling lifted in the way you're saying.
Right.
It's feeling lifted in the external superficial sense.
Right.
Again,
Reaffirming the emotion you need.
just as you said earlier at the beginning, that an external event could make you feel sad.
Right.
The external event is making you feel good.
Right.
But it's still external.
You're exactly.
Right? Like the opposite.
Right. So then that means then when things are good, you feel good.
Yeah.
When things are bad, you feel bad. So there's dramatic contrast and polarity. And this is the realm of polarity, right? So how do you find the middle path? Well, the heart is the middle path. It's a union of polarity. It's a union of opposites. It's oneness. It's wholeness. And this is where we have to begin to create from. All of this down here is all humanity. This is all our animal nature. We get up in here, things change, right? You go from selfish to selfless. And something else happens. So it's really funny too, because when a lot of people come, they say, I don't know, I'm having difficulty opening my heart. I'm practicing, but I'm not feeling anything yet. And then it comes time to do our healings on other people. And the moment it was no longer about you, all of a sudden something happened. Well, of course, that's what the heart is about, right? So it comes in ways that we least expect at times.
Yeah, I love that you've incorporated that element of people having that experience. And often most people can't open their heart to others because they haven't even opened their heart to themselves, right? Like they haven't been through that process of
sitting long enough
to
let the heart, I always say to people, when is the last time you sat with your heart and just worked with it? Like so that it's not contracted and afraid and protected. It takes practice to do that. And so we work with people in letting them, we give them numerous opportunities to practice this over and over and over again. And sooner or later, petal by petal, it starts to bloom, and all of a sudden, there's an authentic smile on their face. And once energy meets the heart, it goes right to the brain. We did this study where we hooked up an electrocardiogram to an electroencephalogram. And an electroencephalogram is a brain mapping machine. So we measure 19 or 26 different compartments, and we're looking to see all different kind of activity in the brain. but we measured the heart along with it. And when the heart starts beating coherently in a sense of order, like taking a big sheet, Jay, and going like that, the heart sends a wave right up to the brain, and the brain goes into these beautiful states of alpha. The heart is telling the brain it's safe to create again. It's safe to imagine. It's safe to dream of a new future. And there's the stroke volume of the heart in order, and then you see these 2 or 3 seconds of beautiful, coherent alpha. The brain is it's in that creative state. Then there's a pause, and it happens again, and it's beauty. It's a symphony. If you don't have that mechanism, you can have all the intention in the world, but there's no carrier wave. I mean, and people, when they make energy reach their heart, there's an external field that's created. It's magnetic. It's measurable, and that energy is frequency. And if that frequency is coherent, it can carry the intent or thought on a coherent brain of that future. The energy of suffering cannot carry the thought of health or wealth. It's not consistent with it. It carries a different set of thoughts. So then the training then is getting people into those heart states, because once they start trading that fear or that pain or that frustration or trying or whatever, forcing, control for gratitude, and they just let all that go. And I say to them, listen, if you can't feel gratitude or if you can't feel love, I just want to know what you've been practicing feeling every day. Because that feeling that you're practicing is what you're always feeling. Now let's practice feeling something else. In the beginning, it's not going to be easy, but you got to keep following the formula, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Well, when they start feeling gratitude, it's very interesting, because the emotional signature of gratitude is that something wonderful just happened to you. Something favorable is happening to you, right? So you've just received something, or you're receiving something, you say thank you. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving emotionally. So when you move into a state of gratitude and you open your heart, you will accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to that emotional state, and you'll program your autonomic nervous system into a different destiny. You could say, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, and your body is conditioned into misery, and it's saying, no, you're not. And that thought stops right at the brainstem. It never makes it to the body, because the body is on a different program. So then, when the person starts trading that and they start opening their heart, well, their immune system gets stronger by 50%. 50% in 3 days, they start making immunoglobulins. Their body's natural defense against viruses and bacteria is 50%, not a little bit, a lot. That's one study. And so trading that, telling the body it's in the environment where it already happened. And so that's when the miracles start happening. That's when people say, I'm not doing anything. Well, of course you're not. You don't have to. So then, last point about this, because it's so important that people understand that most people are creating matter to matter. So the more you live by the hormones of stress, the more altered you are inside of you. The rush of those adrenal chemicals narrows your focus. The senses are heightened, and we become materialists. And now all of our attention is on our bodies, on our environment, and on time. And now we're lost in the VR machine of three-dimensional reality. Everything appears as separate. So I'm here and you're there, and there's space and time between us. And then there's me here and there's my dreams. I place them way out there in the future. Why do I place them out there? Because I'm estimating how much I have to work to get that house, to get that car, how much I have to save, how much overtime I have to work, what things do I have to do, how do I have to cheat, rob, steal, lie, whatever I have to do to get it. Right? That's matter trying to change matter. And so when it doesn't happen, we feel more separation. We try harder, we force, we pray, we control, all that stuff. So then creating from the field instead of from matter means that you have to take all of your attention off your body, all of your attention off all the people in your life, all your attention off all the objects and things, all the places, and even time itself, and become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time. And if you're not any of those things, what are you? Your consciousness. And now you are liberated from the rules of three-dimensional reality, where everything takes time and energy to get what you want. Now, when we create from the field instead of from matter, because it's not matter that's emitting the field. It's actually the field that's creating matter. Change the field, You change matter, right? Now, this is not something you just take one bite of and you get. It's something you got to really practice. So then, by doing this properly with a coherent brain and a coherent heart, you got a Wi-Fi signal. And if you're creating from the field instead of from matter, you no longer have to go anywhere to get what you want. If you were connected to that invisible field of energy called the unified field, the quantum field, which connects everything physical and material, and you're aware of it and you're connected to it, you're connected to source. Why would you, if you were source, why would you go get anything? You draw it to you. So the thought, a coherent brain, is the intent, it's the electrical charge. The elevated, the motion, the heart has a magnetic signature. It's the magnetic charge. The thought is sending the signal out, it's a directive. The feelings drawing the event back. Create that combination, and now you're going to collapse space and time, and you're going to draw those synchronicities to you. Now, I'm here in this lifetime. I'm clear that I want to master that. I want to get good at that because I don't want to. I did the other stuff. You can get successful the other way, but you're too tired. It takes too much energy. I would rather synchronize my energy to synchronicities in my life and be mystified by, wow, this stuff really works. And every synchronicity that happens that catches you off guard and brings you joy and awe and wonder, you're going to use that energy to create the next one. And it gets weird. I've had some crazy synchronicities in the last 3 days. I'm laughing while I'm driving going, oh my God, this life is so incredibly mysterious. What an amazing ride this is. That's a different perspective when you're not synchronizing. Well, you ask the person, was it worth it? You showed up every day, was it worth it? Absolutely. So when it starts happening and you start seeing those, you see feedback in your world, you're going to pay attention to what you did and you're going to do it again. And you're going to be like, okay, I've done this, and I've done this. People who heal themselves have very little difficulty healing someone else. It's just the next step. And then with COVID, and we couldn't do the healings in our events, we had students just get together and say, if we're in the quantum, okay, and everything's connected, do I really need to be there? I just need a target. Give me the face, give me the coordinate. Love transcends space and time, okay? Give me that coordinate. I'll love that person in the life. And these people do it. And we have reputable universities now that are studying this phenomenon. And they're telling me, these are universities that have some of the most advanced laboratories. I'm talking the Nobel Prize researchers. They want to change the conversation in medicine. And today I got a video of somebody being healed remotely. And she's laying there, her cancer went from really bad to nothing. And she videotapes herself when the group works on her. She is laying there and her body is moving all over that floor. It's twisting and turning. There's energy manipulating that body. They're changing the pattern in the field. They don't need, the body is the illusion. The tumor is the illusion. That's the hologram. Change the pattern in the field, you change the projection in three-dimensional reality. Our person who's healed themselves and been in a circle where they've healed someone else.
Wow.
And then when you do that, what's next? I don't know. You won't know until you have that experience. And I've sat in on the groups where they get together on the Zooms and 5 people that they've healed tell their story. You know, a mother whose daughter is unresponsive with an injury or a handicap from birth, who's now looking at her brothers, whose